Hello and welcome everyone to a very special episode of the Still Sane podcast. I'm your host, Talkative Try, and with me, I have my little brother, BroCeratops, I guess, here to talk all things Path of Exile 2. So, before we get into the nitty-gritty, and we'll talk about our past, my little brother, let's get your cred first. How deep are you in 0.3 and what are you playing this league?
So I am currently at tier 16 maps with 6 mods. I think that's about as far as you can go in that progression sense. I have not fought the Arbiter just because I am terrified of doing citadels. I have citadels all around me. I just haven't done them. Um, and I am currently playing a Ritualist, Hollow Palm, Cast on Crit, Comet build. I use Ice Strike as my main ability to trigger Comet over and over and over. And it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's not good, but it's fun.
What did you start out with? Because you didn't start as a ritualist, right?
Yeah, no, I didn't start out as a ritualist. So there was a whole journey, right, with this character. I had the envision of like, yeah, Huntress has got that accuracy increase, and there's a bunch of accuracy notables I can take. So I originally started out as a Huntress, trying to take all the accuracy notables as I could to get my chance to crit up and get my evasion up, get a little bit of energy shield, and try to build from there a cast on crit build. And for the most part, it kind of worked. It kind of worked. It just when I hit like tier 15 maps and I was mapping, I had encountered the issue where Huntress requires like a weapon. And also the Huntress Ascendancy class just argues and beats down the passive skill tree. Double evasion on your body armor? Nah, let's half that and also double your other stuff. You want energy shield on your helmet so you can get evasion? Nope, that needs to be evasion. So it really like was friction against the passive skill tree. So I ended up trying to make other things work because the goal of this character was not to clear maps, kill bosses, kill the Arbiter. Who cares about the Arbiter? Who cares about the Arbiter of Ash? I don't really care about him. I want to see comets. So I started to switch from like Hollowed Palm and I respect into Scepter Spear, and then I respect back into Hollow Palm, and then I respect back into Ritualist. And I found that Ritualist, though it doesn't really have like crit or it doesn't really have like anything good for the build,
Hmm.
just the extra range slot and the bonuses to the rings was enough to make up for what I lost in Huntress.
Right. Yeah, the
So
ring
yeah,
slot
it was a journey.
it's super powerful if you get a whole bunch of damage
It's
mods on it.
it's
And
it's
that
broken.
journey, how long, over what time period did that journey take place, if you don't mind sharing? Because I think I know, but
It, it took place. If I'm kind to myself, I'd say 2 days. But in reality, it was more like 8 hours. It was 8 hours of like, this is not enough comets. How do I make more comets? And then I respec into spear, and I'm like, maybe rapid strike will work. And it's not enough comets. How can I make more comets? And then I just kept respecking over and over, and like I lost all of my gold.
yeah.
All of my gold. I was doing maps and selling every item for gold. I sold all of my bank for gold. I needed gold. Gold was a resource.
Oh
To you,
my
it's not a
god.
resource. To me, it was a resource.
Right. No, I remember seeing Discord in the morning, the night this happened, and you going through this journey of like, yeah, so I'm an Amazon. Oh, but I'm gonna respec into Spear. Okay, maybe not Spear. Maybe I'll go back to Hollow Palm. Okay, maybe I can't be an Amazon. Maybe I need to be a rich. It was just this entire journey laid out, and I think the last message was at like 4 a.m. our time, and you finally settled on it, and it's been working out so far. I mean, you're
Yeah.
level like 93 or something, and you've been, like you said, cruising in T16s, and it's, don't get me wrong, is it all self-made? Have you looked up any build guides? I'm really curious because
No.
this and we'll get into this a little later, but is Path of Exile 2 your first ARPG? Have you played any in the past?
by investment, Path of Exile 2 is my first ARPG. However, it's not the first one I played, right? I did play a couple others. But to get back into like the build, I didn't look up any like passive skill trees. I didn't look up any guides on how to do things better. The only guides I did look up was crafting, but I didn't really follow them. I was just looking them up to understand how crafting worked, because we'll get into how, crafting's awesome, but there's no support in game for it to actually understand what you're doing. It feels like. But in reality, it was me just like looking at the tooltip, going into a map, testing the map, and then switching over things, switching over passive nodes. There is one passive node that gets you attack speed off of your accuracy. I must have allocated that node and unallocated that node 7 different times, and I also have instilled 3 different amulets with that node. So I mean, like it was just really a adventure, kind of like that. But yeah, no. One thing to know is that like it's it's interesting because Path of Exile 2, it got its claws on me in this one character, because I would get to, I'm not listen, I'm not get to 100. I'm not gonna get to 100. I'm not a 100 player. I'm gonna get like maybe low 90s, maybe mid 90s if I'm lucky. If I'm really lucky, mid 90s. Some kind of like where the passive points are. I think they're the most allocated. However, what I was starting to discover was there was like, where can I get another 20% bonus?
Mm.
Where can I get another power increase? And there's so many different avenues and routes to keep increasing your character. I just fell in love with that. I thought my character was finished 7 times, and then I found one more thing I can improve upon. So yeah.
Yeah, that's like you said, it got your claws in you. Once you figure out that aspect of the game and you enjoy the optimization of your character in its, you think it's its final form, right? But there's always another step forward you can go with your characters in Path of Exile 1 and in Path of Exile 2, as you've figured out. And you start, like your first ARPG, Path of Exile 2, you played 0.1 and 0.2 as well. Now, do you mind sharing how that experience went? So you started playing Path of Exile 2 on early access launch. Why did you start playing? I'm kind of curious. Did I force you into it, or do you think you would have played it without my input?
You did not force me into it. You were definitely a great influence, but did not force me into it. A little background of why I played Path of Exile 2 is I actually played Path of Exile 1. And I played Path of Exile 1 with a buddy, with a friend. And it was the league where like there was creatures walking towards a mushroom. It's basically like tower defense, okay? Um,
Like,
but what's in yeah, Blight. Yes, that was it. And in Path of Exile 1, I loved how you could create your character, but we stopped playing at Act 2. Because during Act 1, I could play with my friend, and we were going through maps together. We were going through these cool maps. We killed the siren, we killed like the, I don't know, the manor people, and like he was a ranger with lightning arrow, and then I was some other class. And what ended up happening was just the system of Path of Exile 1 was so friction. There was so much friction for 2 players to play with each other. So we just stopped playing Path of Exile 1. Looking at Path of Exile 2, having the combat be like attempt to be more meaningful, more slowed down, introducing more mechanics around like maybe like dodging and whatnot. It appeared to be a game I could actually join my friend with and I can actually play with other people. I don't enjoy solo games. I enjoy party play. And that's why I started Path of Exile 2. And then as I said, Path of Exile 2 is like, all right, you're at endgame. But are you really at endgame? Here's 15 different ways to make a character 20% better. And by the way, you don't know about the other. You don't know about the other 45. So like it really, I just really like delved into it after 0.1. But
yeah, I
yeah,
remember in 0.1, I think we played through the entire first act as a 3-person party in like one night. I think it was a few days in.
yes,
I think I was mercenary. You were playing sorceress. I think you were trying to do like a frost mage
yes,
or something. Yeah,
yes.
like it just, even though it, once you progress through the game, playing multiplayer is kind of difficult, as we found out. But the early part, it's still pretty fun, you know?
Oh yeah. Like, here I am, brand new player to Path of Exile 2. What is the best way to introduce a brand new player to Path of Exile 2? Let's have Try and another friend who've already played through Act 1 drag you through Act 1 as a sorceress. Ladies and gentlemen, Try community. I got to Act 2 without body armor in 0.1. I didn't know what body armor was.
It was bad.
I didn't know what modifiers were.
That was bad.
It was not good. The hyena killed me
Oh my god.
multiple times.
That happened to everyone. It's okay.
It was fun. It was great.
Yeah. No, that was a really fun night, and it did seem to hook you after then. You played... What was the build you tried to make work in 0.1? Oh, yeah. Was it Rapid Shot? Wasn't it?
Oh, no.
Wait,
no.
wasn't
That's 0.2. That's 0.2.
What was 0.1?
0.1. 0.1. I'm ashamed of this. I'm ashamed. 0.1 was a lightning arrow Deadeye.
Oh, but you sucked.
I played it in 0.1. Yeah, but I sucked. Yeah, I sucked. Yeah. So, like, yeah, I played it before it was cool. I died a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Really, 0.1 made me learn the mechanics.
Yeah.
And then if you want to talk about crazy builds, like actually getting into the build mindset of like, how can I make witch not witch? How can I make mercenary not a mercenary, right? That's where 0.2 really would give me another conduit. And that's where my rapid shot Amazon build for cast on crit comet came in. So, 0.2. That was awesome. That was great. I love that build. That build's awesome. I am very sad what they did to Rapid Shot. I am very sad. But I understand. I get it. I am disappointed, but I understand.
Well, what is the obsession with comets here and the cast on crit, or as people call it, cock? Like, why do you... No, people do. That's how people refer to it in the community. What's the obsession with the comets raining from the sky? What is it?
Well, first off, I love cast on crit comment. I'm gonna avoid that acronym.
Okay.
For that specific phrase.
I wanted that soundbite though for future reference. Sure, you don't want to do that?
I love cock. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Cast on crit comment, please. Let's clarify that acronym right now. All right. So,
your wife's like, what? What'd you just say? Huh? Hold on.
Exactly. Comet's so cool. What do you mean? It comes down from the sky and smashes into the earth. That's all I need. It's not long and drawn out like Eye of Winter. It's not like classic Firebolt, but actually going to multiple projectiles Fireball. It is just this massive chunk of ice crashing down instantaneously after the cast time, and then doing like a nice amount of damage because you're not a sorcerer or a witch or even Spectrum Dispel damage, but you have Spectrum to Energy, like 15 different notables. But like it's just like it is so cool of an ability. And really what happened here, Try, my brother, is that I saw someone do cast on crit, lightning arrow, Deadeye, with it being Comet against like a boss, and I just saw a loading bar of blue comets come down, and that has what inspired me. See, I don't go to build guides. I don't like that. I like seeing results and trying to mimic them my own way and trying to find out how they did it and try to recreate it. So yeah, no, that's where the obsession came from. Plus Comet's cool.
Yeah.
Comet is king.
No, that it's respectable. That also that you try to decipher how people are getting all the pieces together instead of just going straight to a Mobalytics page and just taking it step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It prolongs your experience with the game, right? Because if you decide to just go the guide route for something like that, a lot of the game is kind of being played for you. And you don't have the mind or the personality that enjoys that type of gameplay. A lot of people do, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but the mystique of the game... Huh? Yeah, my dad's in the chat. I don't know if you guys see him in the chat, but he's making fun of us because he just finished the Atlas 80 out of 80, all bosses down, Uber Arbiter down, completely smashed the game. But he did follow a build guide. So just going to throw that out there. He's a Deadeye, Lightning Arrow Deadeye. Okay, so I think it's Flubgun's build guide.
You got to clarify 0.3 Lightning Arrow Deadeye. 0.1 Lightning Arrow Deadeyes, they're perfectly fine.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's very unfair, okay? My brother and I are completely tackling the game ourselves, okay? We'll get there. We'll get there eventually, okay? And we got to try the 6-man Arbiter, too, by the end of the league altogether. That'll be pretty fun.
Yes! A rematch!
Truly, because that first match against him in 0.1 did not turn out too well. No. What, did we get to phase 2 once? Did we even get to phase 2? I don't think we did.
I think one of our friends got to phase 2 after we all died, because now he could actually do the mechanics. Right. Sprinting is massive. Sprinting will actually allow for us to do hallways.
True. And
for
balls.
Those who've not seen, and balls and balls. But for those who've not seen the video or the clip, we would be like bowling balls and pins crashing into one another. I'll be in a safe zone, and then someone rolls into me and pushes me into the one-shot hallway or the one-shot outside the ball. So it was an epic experience, honestly. I'm really excited for a rematch, and I will be pushing you outside into the dead zone.
100%. It's okay. I'm a monk. I'll tank the hit somehow. I'll make it happen. I'm pretty tanky. Okay, so I'd like, since we talked a little bit about how you don't necessarily follow build guides, I am curious to hear your thoughts as first-time player, not a content creator or anything. How well do you think Path of Exile 2 currently tutorializes things? And do you think that even now in its infancy, it relies on too many external tools and sites for buildcraft, crafting, and the like?
So let's start out with when the game first came out, because this is where I was learning all the basic mechanics. For all the basic mechanics like attacking, skill gems, support gems, dodging, I think they do a really good in-game tutorial at the time. Like you're fighting this massive guy with a log in the first area, and then right before he's about to kill you, they pause the screen and be like, "Do you want to dodge? Did you want to live?" The space bar, which is like really, I think that's a really good format of tutorial. However, what happened, like in 0.1, perfectly fine. 0.2, as I got deeper into the game, I started having trouble trying to actually find resources and documentation on what certain terms meant or how certain abilities worked. And even going outside the game, I couldn't find resources on like certain aspects of the game. I'll give you one example. Cast on Crit. Cast on Crit has something about like a threshold. And as you hover over the threshold, it actually redirects you to elemental threshold, not the term. The term's not elemental threshold. It's just like something threshold, and then it redirects you to elemental ailment threshold. And that's confusing because what about physical damage? That's not elemental. And I did it to experiment and find out it did work, but like that hover functionality redirected me. I don't know if it's like to the wrong term or whatnot, but it was just confusing as a new player, and I couldn't really find more documentation on it. So when I was trying to like build these like funky interactions with my builds, I really had to experiment with the resources I had. Granted, that's why I respect like 4 different times in 8 hours, right? I was trying to find out what works. What is this?
Yeah.
And like I just spent dibs and resources and time to do this. So yeah. I think for basic mechanics, it does a great job, awesome job. But as you start to dive in and become more of a player wanting to engage with the internal mechanics, that's where Path of Exile 2 starts to break apart. Iron Reflexes doesn't really make sense to me as a player when I took it. Once again, ailment threshold didn't make sense to me as a definition. And then we get into the newest system in Path of Exile 2, the crafting system. What's a tag? What is a tag? Where is it explained? As a new player, I don't know about Path of Exile or Path of Bill. I don't know about these applications. I mean, I'm just playing PoE2, and I'm like, what is this? What's a tag? And then we have the abyssal omens and the certain types of modifiers. I can't even pronounce those words. But
Urgle,
like,
Amabanu, Mabanu.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. What is that? Which I guess like they might want you to go ahead and find out via experimentation within the game itself. But like I only have 3 of them.
Right.
Like, can I learn via experimentation as an
Yeah.
average player? Of course, like there's players out there that have like many more. But as an average player, I- it's hard for me to experiment with that crafting system when I don't know what this is. Because like when I first get it, I don't know how rare this thing is. This could be worth like 5 div. This could be like build defining, and like I'm afraid to use it on a average piece of gear to
Yeah.
find out what it does because I may never find that item again. Happened to me in 0.2 with a essence of haste. I got a greater essence of haste. Never used it because I didn't know how rare it was.
Right. Right. See, that's something that a lot of people run into with Path of Exile 2 and its predecessor, Path of Exile 1. The deeper you get into the game, the more you learn, but the more you don't know because you're exposed to so many different things and you're almost pushed to look outside of the game because you start picking up these items that you might only get once every 100 hours or something. And then you don't really know what they do. Like you said, how rare they are, how powerful it could be in the hands of yourself or other players. And I do think it would GGG would be doing a service to many people if they continued to stack stuff in the game. So people who want to, as you said, play the game inside the game just are empowered to do exactly that. Like the trading system. How much better is that, man, having that in
Trading
the game?
system.
Just being able to search everything in game. Like I know that people have double monitors, a lot of people, but wasn't that a good feeling? Keeping it.
It it was epic. The trading system is one of the best features they have added in Path of Exile 3 for many different reasons. And people can disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine, right? But
Rip them up.
it keeps players mapping. They don't have to take a break to go ahead and answer like questions. It has extended the life of the league, in my opinion. The league by now probably should be dead, but people are still playing in massive numbers because
100K.
I believe
Yeah.
they're able to get items. I can buy a magic item that might be worthless to like 99% of the players, but I'm playing like a brand new like warrior and I need this mall now, right? And it allows the game to be a lot more fluid and it has greatly enhanced the experience. I never sold items in 0.1 and
No,
0.2.
I know.
The currency, yeah, yeah. The currency I got and traded with was the currency I found. And I did not find a single div in both of those leagues, despite being levels 95 and 93. Never found a single div, right? In 0.3, I'm finding like a magic crossbow base that's worth 3 div. What? And
Yeah.
I can go ahead and sell that, and then someone random shows up my hideout and buys it. Or like I find this like kind of nice like jewel or kind of nice like belt maybe with like 3 res and I put it for like 1 exalt and it gets picked up instantly. It's become its like own game. It
Yeah.
already was its own game. Trading was its own game, but now more people can partake in it.
Yep.
Keep players in the game.
Right.
Every system that's outside of Path of Exile 2, try to get that in the game and allow players to not have to tab out of the application, go to a website, type in some stuff, and like disconnect. Don't let that disconnect happen. Keep players playing. And I think they've done an awesome job with the trading system with that.
It raises the ceiling, I think. It raises the ceiling for the
So
people who
cool.
will engage with it. So all the I'll take one of my friends, Captain Lance 9, okay? Lots of you probably know him in the audience. He uses all the bells and whistles, all the tools, okay? Having all those available outside of game and not available to the general populace just increases the gap so much more between what he can craft, what he can create, and what others can create. If we had something just like an explanation of what the Kurgle, Amanamu, and I always forget Ulaman modifiers were in game, and maybe not a breakdown of their rarity, but just that these are powerful special mods that can appear on your abyssal gear, and here are the best use cases. Like just a paragraph, I swear, like that would help play regular players out so much. We have someone in our Discord who I don't know if he's listening right now, but he is average player, okay? He's been selling heavy belts for 1 exalt. And he's in here asking, like, why are they instantly going away? And we're like, oh, bro, well, you just gotta, like, do a little research. And he's like, I won't even do that. So they're like, it's just so crazy the gulf that can be between all these different players with systems outside the game, even systems inside the game. Like, we have everything inside the game for trade right now. We still have people who are like, oh, my heavy belt's being sold in 61 seconds. How odd is that? I'm just gonna sell the next one. It's so funny, man. It's a crazy game.
I really believe that was a very awesome, like, trading is an awesome mechanic, obviously, and it's added a lot to the game, and it's getting a lot more players engaged with the game, and it's making players play the game longer. And the longer you have more players playing the game, the more players are going to join the league and play the game mid-league or whatnot, right? I can probably convince my buddy, it's like, hey, come play Path of Exile too. I understand it's mid-league, but like your job right now is not that bad right now, and come play this right now after work when you have more energy. And we can have a great experience, you know?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's the mid-league point with the trade marketplace is one that I brought up with just so many people. It is going to open up the possibility, not only now, but in the distant future, for players to just hop in if they miss that initial league start hype. That's always been a problem for Path of Exile 1, and honestly, it's still a problem for competitor ARPGs as well. And the way that they've implemented this instant trade system, I feel, has completely solved it. Just the way that stuff is listed with currency instead of just raw gold numbers, and it's good. Props to GGG for that. So, I almost called you by your real name. Won't do that. My brother, we have been talking. I know, brother. We have been talking a lot about how Grinding Your Games has been succeeding, trade marketplace, and the like. I'm curious, where would you say they are faltering most right now? Do you have something you can distill down? And I don't know if you've seen the latest patch, but they removed towers, and they're doing a huge endgame revamp.
Oh man,
next week.
I did see that.
Okay.
I actually had something I wanted to talk about with this.
Okay.
And it's in the note I sent you. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna just take a quick beat because I think this is super important. Okay.
Okay.
There it is. Okay. So my biggest, like, what I think that they're currently failing with the most, and people, this is probably a very hot take. I think it's progression in the end game. And the thing is that, like, in the campaign, it is a linear progress bar. I am going through Act 1. Oh, I've beaten the Act 1 boss. I am going through Act 2. I have beaten the Act 2 boss. I am going through Act 3. I have beaten the Act 3 boss, right? It is a linear progression system, and it feels awesome. It feels good to complete every act, to complete everything. In Endgame, there really isn't a direction they give you. As a new player, I kind of struggle when I get to endgame. I'm just like, I guess I'll do this map. I guess maybe is it good to do this map? You know? And how do I progress the rituals? It's not linear, it's a lot less linear. And you can, like, do things that branch off. And really,
aimless.
When you
I think that's the word you're looking for.
It is.
Aimless.
Yeah, it's aimless. It's aimless, right? It's RNG based if you can get to Arbiter of Ash fast, because you gotta find citadels, right? And then when you're working on one endgame mechanic, you really can't work on the others. Even with the new tablet system, you really need to focus on, okay, is this map going to be Ritual? Is this map going to be Breach? Is this map going to be XYZ endgame league mechanic? You really can't bring a map to be multiple mechanics. And, like, I kind of get why a little bit, but I also don't understand, why can't I just have, like, a map with, like, all the mechanics to it and just play that map and have it, like, super beefed up, you know?
You can do that. Let me push back. Well, let me clarify too. So just to make sure you understand the new system, you can do that. There's a big trade-off though.
Yeah.
It needs to be a 6-mod map, right? So you can have a map with guaranteed Breach, Ritual, and Expedition tablets all in it, but you only have one chance on that map, and then extra mechanics can also spawn on it between 1 and 3 on top of those, so it can still be a beefed up map. So I just want to make sure you understand that properly. You can do that. I totally agree with the aimless point though. Like, you're touching on something there that I I'm optimistic is only because they have not developed the end game and will come with time. Because this is also something that people jest, oh, I'm so glad the Path of Exile 2 devs have learned their mistakes, or sorry, the Path of Exile 1 devs have learned their mistakes creating Path of Exile 2 and re-implemented this Path of Exile 1 mechanic, right? Because they've solved that progression. The feeling of being aimless in Path of Exile 2 does not exist in Path of Exile 1, while also still having the ability to be dynamic in what you do in the gameplay. So there's still that progression path that's very clear to a lot of players to the end, right? While also allowing you to expand your horizons and edit your maps and put the type of content you want in there. So I think what we'll see with the patch next week, we'll get a lot more of what you're exactly looking for, I hope. And then with 0.4, given Jonathan's very empowering language of, oh my gosh, it's going to be a thick content patch in 0.4 for endgame, I really hope that your problem right there is addressed, because I feel the same as you, and I know what they're trying to do. As like a newer player, it must feel very aimless, because imagine if you have no context. You finish the campaign and you're just dropped in. I really feel like you would feel way more lost, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I am 100% lost. Like when I first got to endgame, I had no idea what to do. And I didn't have a single goal to achieve, honestly. And it really it felt like I was just doing mapping to do mapping.
Right.
That's
Right.
that's kind of it, right? And it shouldn't feel like that, right?
Hmm.
Yes, it's end game. However, there should be something I need to work towards. And what I did in 0.2 and 0.3 is I basically said to myself, "Hey, I don't care about Arbiter Bash. I don't care about any of these bosses. I care how many comments I can create." And like that was like my goal, right? It was my self-made goal there. Because like there wasn't any progression,
Right.
I felt like. And like and by the way, I'm sure that Grinding Gear Games is going to make an awesome M game. I'm really excited for it. It's just it's the campaign traps you, the building traps you,
Yeah.
right? You get so invested in building. Crafting traps you. You get so invested in the crafting. The mapping part is just like, all right, I'm doing a map. Hope I get a div so I can craft.
Yeah. Oh,
All right, cool.
dude, bang
Map's
on.
dead.
Bang on. The joke with Path of Exile 1 has always been the moment you get to maps, GGG steals your soul. I feel like it's so the opposite. Yes, it's so the opposite with Path of Exile 2, right? And they want to get to that point where when you get to Path of Exile 2's endgame, oh, that's when it's got your soul, right? Or, I mean, honestly, they probably want that in the campaign, but having that same replication that you're talking about happen with endgame for some players, it's probably desired by GGG. So I think that's a very valid point. Okay, so interesting take, brother. Now, here's another thing that I would love to hear your opinion on, and go balls to the wall if you'd like to with this. So, what's your, and I asked this to Dad as well, what's your view on how content creators view Path of Exile 2 versus a normal player who's just playing the game? Because I know that you watch a good chunk of Path of Exile content creators on YouTube, so I'm curious how you can gauge your feelings versus theirs. Do they influence what you think about the game? Do I, with my toxic positivity, overwhelm you into constantly talking good about the game? Because that's all you do in Discord, is you just glaze Path of Exile 2 endlessly. How does this shape your thoughts about the game? I'm curious. Let everybody know.
So I mostly watch content creators to try to learn how to do things in the game and learn how to do things for myself, right? For an example, I watched you. I found out where Rakiana's flow was, and I
Mm.
went and got myself Rakiana's flow for myself. I didn't sell it, of course. And that's kind of what I use content creators for. However, when I look at their like the way they treat the game, the way they like play the game, and this is my 100% opinion, people can 100% disagree with me right here. The way I see it, a normal player, their Path of Exile 2 experience is going to be 60 to 80% the campaign. Then they get to
Mm.
endgame, and then they're going to probably drop off from there. They're probably not really going to play the game maybe too much. Maybe they might level a bit more, right? But like I think that like getting the campaign right for a normal player is probably the most essential. And then whatever endgame adds on, it's flavor. It's awesome fluff, right? To me, that's how I view what a normal player would want to play. Because right now, I mostly play Path of Exile 2, so I don't consider myself a normal player. I consider a normal player to play maybe like Path of Exile 2. Then when their friends hop on, they'll jump onto
Mm,
League of Legends and yell at each other. And like other games, PoE2 is maybe not their main focus. They have other games to focus on, right?
right.
Um, so that's kind of how I see it. Is that mostly the content creators are focused on endgame, crafting, mechanics, how many exalts are a div, et cetera, et cetera. And there's also a large part of the player base that also does focus on that. But for a lot of the normal players who ingest PoE2, ingest World Tanks, ingest League of Legends, ingest Minecraft, like all these other games, they're probably gonna play the campaign, beat Act, when it's out, Act 6, be like, that was an awesome experience. Exit the game.
Right. Like they're having like a drink. They might a lot of people probably play on
Yeah.
console and they'll just be like
Yeah.
chilling on like their couch or like a rocking chair and they're like, hell yeah, we just killed the beast. Let's go, you know, right? So so I'm curious, how with that probably being the case, maybe getting that more casual audience in for PoE2, how much credence do you think the developers should give to those people? So I think because a lot of people, they filter their feedback through the lens of I play Path of Exile 2, like it is my hobby. I don't game, I Path of Exile 2. Do you think that a lot of game developers are kind of shifting toward catering to their primary audience, focusing in on the niche? You know, a game for everyone is a good, what is it? An okay game for everyone is a perfect game for no one. Instead of really just trying to make that perfect game, do you think there's a fine line there? Do you think GGG toes it well, or what do you think from an outside perspective?
I think from an outside perspective, I'm gonna probably reference other games here. Is that if you make the core game great, you're going to attract that normal player base, right? So listen to your heavily invested player base of like Path of Exile 2 players who are playing the end game, who play the campaign multiple times. Listen to that core audience because they do have in all of like their not complaints, but like all their critiques of the game. There is good information there for a game designer to look at and to react to. And we're seeing grinding your games do it, right? We're seeing it live, right?
Yeah.
3.1 is a great example of this. Sprinting is a great example of this. Adding the training system in game is a great example of this. And these are all critiques that pretty enthusiastic Path of Exile 2 players had about the game. Whether it's about the missing mechanic or a problem that mechanic addressed. By adding those features into the game, you're going to attract your normal players. You're going to attract more players outside that core audience.
Hmm.
So, and this is what we really saw in like maybe Baldur's Gate 3, right? Baldur's Gate 3 was in early access for a very long time. A community played it for a very long time, and then when it opened, people realized how good of a game it was, and people bought the game, right? I've never completed the campaign, but I have the game, and I have almost 300 hours on it. Okay, right? I'm a pretty normal player of Baldur's Gate 3. Listen, listen, try, brother. I have like 7 different campaigns going. I have seven different characters going. It's okay. It's okay. You can play Baldur's Gate 3. It's okay. But make the game and the gameplay awesome and feel good.
Yeah.
And then you're going to attract those more normal players to your game, right? I'm a player that probably doesn't spend too much on microtransactions. But like how much fun I'm having in Path of Exile 2, and I was basically converted from a normal player to a more enthusiastic player by the core gameplay, by the bosses, by the building, by like the awesome investment I can do in the game.
Hmm.
I now look at those microtransactions like, I could have purple lightning from my crossbow.
Yeah.
That hideout looks really cool,
That's right.
right? And I feel like that's what Grind Games needs to do: make the game awesome
Hmm.
and deliver it, and people will follow, right?
Yeah.
And how you make the game awesome? You listen to your players, you filter their feedback, and you make good game design choices, right? Which I think they've proven they can do at an awesome rate.
You said it, I didn't say it. So it's not glazing. You're good. Yeah, great answer, man. No. Great answer. Great answer. No, I totally agree with you. Pretty much everything you said there, man. Okay, swapping topics entirely, little brother. So I'm curious of Who do you think is the best at Path of Exile 2? Me, you, or
Our
Dad?
father.
What?
Our father.
Why?
Our father. Our
Justify.
father.
Justify why
I
Dad is
mean,
the best at
how
PoE2.
do you want to define being good at Path of Exile 2? Completing your Atlas almost every single league? Yeah, that will do it, right? I mean, like, yeah, we got to endgame first, but he's ahead of us now, right? Like,
That's
we
true.
were the hares, we were the rabbits, we rushed the race, we had fun, it was awesome, but then we looked behind our shoulders and we saw our father, the tortoise, slowly going forward, ever creeping, and then he's past us, right? Like, what is this? But like, there's like, Path of Exile 2 is not a game you can say who is the best. Who is the best Path of Exile person? You know, you have speedrunners, you have crafters, you have traders, you have people who just enjoy the campaign, right? There's not really a who's the best, right? And if you are to say who is the best, then we have to go to the character, the abilities, and yada yada. And right now, our father is just playing Lightning Arrow Deadeyes. So, like, do you really want to test that against your Hollow Palm? Did I
Yeah,
really want to test
let's
that against
go.
Alapom? No.
They need to
Oh,
add
really?
PvP.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it.
PvP. I
I'll do it.
agree.
I'll do it.
I agree. I just want to say right now, the way our father gets around not dying is currently having a companion take all the aggro, but the companion has a support gem that prevents it from taking damage. So he just doesn't get attacked as a lightning arrow deadeye.
Broken.
And as a hollow palm, I take offense to this. I think the player character should always be the target, right? Every
Yep.
single arrow, every single ability, every single fireball, including why not the companion too hit the player, right? So yeah, no, that's all I gotta say on that, brother. But yeah, I don't know.
You're right. You're totally right. I mean, the hare and tortoise analogy. That's what he said when we had him on the podcast. He said, I'm going to be the tortoise. You're the hare. So right. We got to endgame way faster. We got to the 90s faster than him. But yeah, we got the text right as I started the stream 1 hour ago. Done 80 out of 80. Atlas completed. Deadly Tedley finishes the game. 95th level. All content cleared. Look at that. Look at that. Well, it's okay because in 0.4 we're gonna win, right? Right, dude?
No, nope, no. You think so? You think so? You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna play hopefully Druid. I'm gonna play hopefully Druid. We're gonna play some wacky builds. We're gonna have a fun time in the campaign. And at endgame, there's our father playing the next Lightning Arrow Deadeye.
Okay.
Slowly approaching and then surpassing us.
Okay. I gotta ask, since we mentioned 0.4. Yeah. What do you think you'll cook for 0.4, assuming the Druid gets added? Something to do with comets? Or will you finally get rid of this obsession with these giant bursts of white stuff flying from the sky?
You're telling me that they're gonna, they're hopefully gonna add a class that's closer to spell damage than where the Huntress is, than where the Ritualist is?
I don't know.
And you expect me to not play Comet? Somehow, some way, I will find a way. I will put Comet in my build. Is it going to be an ability to activate? I don't know. Is it going to be cast on crit? Hopefully not. It doesn't work well. Is it going to be cast on ailment? Maybe. It seems to work a little bit better. Comet will be there. I don't know though. I did see there's like a meta gem for like on minion death, I think, and I want to play minions when Druid comes out. I think having a little pack of wolves is gonna be so cool, right? Go get them. And then maybe when they die, a comet comes down. I'm not sure. We'll find out, but comet will be there. You can be guaranteed because it's always gonna be there regardless.
You could do a cock bear. Because there's like the bear has last we saw it has like a rampage ability. So you could maybe they'll add like a cast on slam, and each of the paw slams is a cock trigger, and you could put comment in it. So every time you slam the ground and create boom, comment on the ground. That'd be kind of cool. Just have a comment.
That'd be awesome.
Comments in your wake. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be cool.
I would love that. Any way to make more icy comments come down and burst upon the scene, I would love that. Please, that's the game. You know what? Please make cast on comment a gem. Please make cast on comment a gem too. I just So many things. So many things. Please more support for Comet. It needs more support.
Okay, I always ask everybody this final question, but before we do that, I want to ask you, be very truthful. How different do I act on stream and on camera versus off camera? This is a question that came from the
All right.
audience earlier today.
All right. Try community. Chat. Tries chat. Okay? So what ends up happening here, right, is that my brother is the exact same. On stream, out of stream, he is the same demeanor, personality. But I'll say a but here, right? He's got his job, he's got his kids, he's got his chat. Most of the time when I interact with my brother, it's after he streamed, he's got a long day and he's tired. So like, his job gets 25%, his kids get 50%, you guys get 24%, and we get the 1% super tired try, which is an experience in itself. So definitely, hey, he's got a lot of energy, and I'm just glad I can have that 1%. What is this? Script.
Good job, bro. Good job. Very nice.
Listen, that's Appreciate not scripted. I'll be honest. All right. I don't like scripted stuff.
Okay. Actually, before we get to the last PoE2 question, so I can keep everybody on the edge of their seats, what was your favorite game to play when we were kids with each other? Either PvP or collaborative. Do you have a favorite that we can reveal to people? Like, what's something that we always ward over and maybe still do to this day?
So I need your community to understand something, okay? I am the younger brother, and when we played games,
3 years younger.
I was 3 years younger than my older brother. So please assume what happens when we play, for an example, an RTS, right? Is the 7-year-old gonna win, or is the 10-year-old gonna win that RTS?
It was because I was better. It wasn't because I was older. It was because I was better. Let's just clarify that.
Oh man! All right. Yeah, he was better. So favorite game. I'll lay it out right now. I have 3, but I'm gonna pick one. Age Mythology, 100%. Age Mythology music. I love Age Mythology. Age Mythology as a kid was an awesome game. I was a sore loser. I was the biggest sore loser, and now today I have grown into an adult.
Sore loser.
Not sore loser, but also kind of seem like sore loser.
Oh.
Hey. Whoa. Hey, whoa.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out how I lost, and if I say, well, you're playing Atlanteans, and I was playing the Norse, and my walls weren't strong enough, it's me analyzing the game. It's not me telling you you're playing a better nation because you're playing the better nation, okay?
Fanatics are OP. That regen is way too high. That's busted.
Yeah. Hero regen is so strong.
How can they take down a Titan this fast? This is ridiculous, right?
I have a Titan. I will take down my brother's base. And there my Titan. Okay, anyways.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Age Mythology.
Love
big
it.
favorite. And for anybody who doesn't know, it's getting another expansion in 1 week, right? Tuesday, right? Hey, I might stream that, dude.
Yes. Hopefully.
I think we could probably stream, a little bit of maybe gameplay of that, and we could hear the sore loser on camera talking about why he's losing.
Oh man, you might have to change my name from like BroCeratops. I can't even say it right now.
Triceratops.
BroCeratops. Yeah, BroCeratops to Ranty Rex or whatnot, because I might rant a little bit. Yeah, it might be that. Who knows, right? During Smash, I was called Carnage because of how like I'm like I never I just got mad at myself.
You called in Smash into play. So we host an annual Smash tournament at my home. We've been doing it for 7 years now, ever since my wife and I got married. It started in our apartment. Now it's to our home. We host this tournament every year. It's for my brother-in-law's birthday. And was it a few years ago that you did this? We bought this ridiculously large TV, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, chat. It's like 70 inches or something. And we play Smash on this television. And someone beats my brother. I can't remember if it was me or if it was somebody else. But my brother, straight-faced, real as can be, is like, It's input lag because of the size of the screen. That's why I lost. I'm inputting my controller, and because there's so many pixels on the television, the lag is too much, and that's why I'm losing, because the screen is too big. So we always make this joke now. Every single time we need to get that tiny little monitor in to play. You know, everybody can be looking at it like that. That's what we need, right? Right.
Let me just
You're
clarify.
passionate. You're passionate.
You
okay?
know, I face that. Please disregard the fact the other opposing player also faced the exact same issue. It was still an issue. It's still there, okay? It's still
not
a thing.
there, though. Oh, God. But yeah, we all play on the same TV. By the way, bro, your wife is texting me. Can confirm you are lying. He's a sore loser. So I don't know. We're all against you, my friend.
So much.
We're all against you.
I have so much support in my family. They
you
all
do.
love me.
You do. Well, we all love you. So you're a sore loser. Sometimes I
100%.
sing too much in the shower. Maybe I like run too much. You know, I don't know. You know, we all have the things that we have wrong with us. It's okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I shall not be a sore loser next Tuesday.
Good.
If you stream that.
Good. No, I think that'd be pretty fun. We can all play Japanese.
If you do not stream that, I shall be a sore loser.
Okay, that's totally fine. I'm fine with it. I think it's funny.
There you go.
I think it's hilarious. it just is entertainment for me. So, okay, were there any other games that? Okay, I think we've loved RTSs. We were talking about when I had Barricade on the podcast, games we had for the PS2. Do you remember the Godzilla Destroy the Earth game or whatever it was called? You remember that game?
All right. Do I remember that game?
Yeah.
I repaired the disc when I went to college for that game. So yes, I remember that game. That game is awesome. It's one of the best games ever. Up there, love it. It's awesome. I might buy a PS2 just to play it.
Okay. Yeah, I love that game, dude. Such a fun game. And the Lord of the Rings game, too. You remember that one, The Return of the King?
I was terrible at that one. I have less fun memories. I have many less fun memories of that game.
It was a hard game. It was a hard game. You only could blame yourself, too, because it was, you know.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, that's where the building blocks for being a sore loser started to develop, was actually Lord of the Rings, right?
Battle for Middle-earth. Yeah. You're playing the goblins again, building mountain giant army. Oh my gosh. Your hero can one-shot the Balrog. This is total crap. I remember. I
remember that. I remember that. How is this human one-shotting every unit I have? That was an awesome game. Battle of Middle-earth was an awesome game. Talk about games I wish they ripped out the engine, redid it, and redeployed it for newer OSs. That's a game I'd buy for like $70 probably.
Me too.
I'll put my price out there.
Yeah. Just like I did with Age of Mythology, I'd probably buy that game.
Yeah.
And they did a great job with Age of Mythology Retold. And yeah, Heavenly Spirit, that's going to be super fun. Okay. We successfully got some non-PoE2 stuff in. Now we're going to sandwich all that in between a final Path of Exile 2 question. BroCeratops, if you put on Jonathan Rogers' skin, I don't know why I'm phrasing it like this, and became the game director for Path of Exile 2, and you could design an expansion, a league, a mechanic, just something to add into the game, anything, big idea, little idea, what would it be?
All right, so I'm going to throw something out there that I hope they actually take and bring to the game one day. I know it's probably not going to be worked on for a long time, so they need to do some good systems for it. But Path of Exile 2, one of its strengths for me is the bosses, okay? The bosses are epic. They're awesome. I love them, right? They need to be toned up like 10 times in difficulty, honestly. But the mechanics for the bosses are super cool. And what I think would be a really cool, maybe like league mechanic, is that as you're campaigning and as you're going through the campaign, when you slay a boss, there's like a 25% chance for a body part of that boss to fall on the ground, right? And then eventually you can collect these body parts and you can assemble a like flesh golem of these bosses. And depending upon what body part you have taken from a boss, its abilities are added to that flesh golem boss. So you have like this flesh golem with all these different body parts, and it has all the different abilities from all the different bosses around. Because let's be honest, reuse mechanics, they're good at this, okay? You have awesome boss mechanics. Let's have a siren boss with the dance, and then during the dance, we have the Axeman's like anchor that comes down, right? Let's give the players the ability to customize their boss fights and make them exponentially harder. Let's make them harder than the pinnacle bosses, in my opinion. Let's go.
Oh.
Let's keep going. Honestly,
Oh.
I would love that. I would love that.
Well,
I love bossing. Bossing's my favorite part of this game.
well, BroCeratops, you just redesigned Metamorph League from Path of Exile 1. Except that final layer there, making them way harder than pinnacles. I think that'd be way cool. That was a part that was missing. So that's what they did. You collected body parts from boss monsters, regular monsters, and you could combine them all into one, and it would shift between the different bosses. It wasn't a flesh golem, but it would just shift forms. So let's, for example, the Crowbell. You combine the Crowbell, you combine the Executioner, and you combine the Arbiter of Ash. When it uses the Crowbell bell ability, it would shift into the Crowbell, and then when it does the Beam of Arbiter, it would be Arbiter. I think that would be so cool. They lacked a true pinnacle boss with Metamorph and PoE1, and they actually removed the League mechanic in a relatively recent League. But I think you're right, with the potential of all these bosses in Path of Exile 2, something like that, a build your own boss mechanic would be so cool. Totally agree.
I would love that. I would play that league so much. The only issue I can find with it is that like a league is introducing like the mechanic itself is like in every single map. So like how do you give the players the ability to like assemble those bosses often in the campaign without them having the end game, right? So there's some good game design questions and problems there to solve, and I'm sure that they can go on it and they can hammer those things away. But like, just give me better boss fights. I want boss fights. You know, Try didn't die during Act 4. That's dumb. He should have died multiple times. All right, I had the lead in the race. I was winning the race, and then he just wouldn't perish. He wouldn't perish.
Bosses.
So
easy bosses.
Bosses need to be harder.
They were very cool mechanically. I just don't think they were tuned up to a good degree. Or Hollow Palm technique is just too busted. Maybe that's it, man. We'll find out. I'm about to go through Act 4 again on my warrior and a sorceress, so I'll see if I have the same experience. I reckon I will, even though the Sork is in SSF and not getting any twink gear. So we'll see. Definitely see. Well, BroCeratops, was there anything else you wanted to ask me, discuss, talk about Path of Exile 2 in any regard?
Yes, actually.
Bring it on. Let's go.
You're a very positive person. You're a very positive person. Let's bring some negativity in a little bit.
Oh, shoot.
What is the thing about Path of Exile 2 that you hate the most? Hate.
That I hate the most?
Nothing can be improved upon. That you hate the most. Yes.
That I hate the most? And I can't say performance, right?
I mean, that's given. Come on, we all hate performance, all right? So like,
Can I narrow it down
it's gotta be improved upon.
To the fact that I have an air conditioner on right now because it makes my computer so hot. I hate that.
All right, so
okay.
All right, so that's my mistake. You can't use that. You can't use that. Okay.
Okay. The thing I hate most about Path of Exile 2 presently. Yeah, I think there's one thing that I mean, hate is a strong word, but I'll go ahead and say I hate it.
Fair enough.
Most of the ascendancies are kind of trash, okay? Some of them are really cool. They have lots of cool abilities. They're thematic, and they add a lot of power to your character. But others just fall so flat. The abilities are so situational, or they don't increase your power at all, and they're just jank. I get that they're trying to do a bunch of stuff with these ascendancies and add interesting mechanics like the Flames of Chayula. Get the idea. I hate it. I hate it so much. Stormweaver, nothing is exciting on that ascendancy in my opinion. I looked at all the nodes and I'm like, man, a lot of this just does not seem cool. We were promised epic ascendancies with Path of Exile 2. It's a new engine, or it's not a new engine. It's a new game with a bunch of new possibilities, and the ascendancies aren't as cool as Path of Exile 1 ascendancies for the most part. That might...
Wow.
People might disagree with me on that, but with Path of Exile 1, you feel ascendancy classes. You ascend, you take 2 nodes, holy crap, do you see the boost in power in your character. I have witnessed that from League 1 and 3.8 all the way to the last league I played and ascended in, which was 3.25 Settlers of Kelgar. Every single node jumps up your character in power, and you feel it, you don't in Path of Exile 2, and that is a shame, an absolute shame. Now, did Path of Exile 1 have a lot more time to craft these ascendancies and get them in that good power state? Yeah, but again, it's going back to that endgame thing of, okay, the Path of Exile 2 devs are learning about Path of Exile 1 and what succeeded there, and they're implementing it into Path of Exile 2. I really hope they move in the direction of putting more power to the ascendancy classes and making them cooler. Rant finished. What's your input?
I think that, that's a pretty good answer. I think what happened here, and of course, not game designer, right? Just normal player. I think what happened here is that is the friction between meaningful combat and what Path of Exile 2 has become in 0.3, right? Flames of Chayula, probably in the 0.1 or 0.2 vision, would have been a lot better. But the mechanic I to go around and pick up those flames feels like an artifact from the game design of meaningful combat. So right now, there's a lot of discussion on what is Path of Exile going to do. Is it going to focus more on meaningful combat, or is it going to focus on a system not exactly like Path of Exile 1, but more like Path of Exile 1, right? And the ascendancy classes are kind of stuck between those two decisions, right? Deadeye is awesome for Path of Exile 1 like gameplay, right? It's fast, gives you everything pretty much, right? And then like we look at the Pathfinder, right? With the different skills to like throw these like little flasks and use flasks. That seems like more meaningful combat, right?
Hmm.
So I think right now it's just it's between those two design decisions,
Hmm.
and hopefully we can see a rebalance in the ascendancy classes and make them much more meaningful. Now, a question on top of that for you, Try, is that do you think they should bring the ascendancy classes to the uniqueness and the power of a Deadeye, or cut Deadeye by like 25% and then bring all the ascendancy classes up by maybe like 50%? What do you think there?
Yeah, bring it up to the power. Bring it up to the uniqueness and power of a Deadeye. I think the
Okay.
only power, the only big problem, and I don't play Deadeye, but the only big problem with Deadeye is that speed is so encouraged and so powerful on pretty much every single archetype in PoE2 right now. Is it's just Tailwind. It's how strong and pervasive Tailwind is, and how strong that single
Mhm.
ability is. So I think just bringing down a little bit of Deadeye and power, but not removing it. I see some people who are like, Tailwind, gotta go, bye-bye. No, I do not think that should be the case at all. I think just a little bit of little bit more dropping of Tailwind power, Deadeye power, but then bringing everybody up to being niche, right? Like an
Mhm.
Ascendancy, the node shouldn't be generic as all heck, right? I think
Yeah.
every node should be specific and powerful. It should be enabling a specific, powerful aspect of your character, and that happens, I think, with Deadeye in many ways, and with others, it doesn't. Like Warbringer is another great example. I think that's a really good Ascendancy. I think it fulfills very specific power fantasies there and does it in a great way. But I'll bring it up again. Stormweaver, not really. Invoker, like it's a little generic, but you can really feel the power there, so that's super cool. I'm just really worried about the other ascendancies. I think like Infernalist, it has really good ideas, but then the power's not there, right? I think Lich, awesome. Lich, so powerful,
Mhm.
so cool. They did a great job with the Lich. Blood Mage now, oh my gosh, powerful, thematic, great job there. So I hope that they follow in the vein of your Deadeyes, your Blood Mages, your Liches, as opposed to some of the ones that I guess I've been exposed to, you know?
Yeah. I really hope they do that. I actually played a Stormweaver, in 0.2, 2 Act 3, and it it just felt more like Sorcerer. It just felt like a faster Sorcerer, honestly, right?
Right.
So like I really it's nothing like Richless, where like I kill a rare monster and I will
Right.
sacrifice it and get all of its modifiers. So unique, so cool. A lot of the Ascendancy classes don't have that.
Right.
And I really hope that GGG can look at that and maybe add some very unique and cool mechanics,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, um, I'm on the same page. 0.4, maybe they'll add some more Ascendancy classes like they did in 0.2. Maybe they'll rework some. really hoping, but also we don't have all the Ascendancy classes. We're missing
True.
a ton of them, right?
Mhm.
So, we'll just have to, sit down and wait, and hopefully we'll see some good change.
100%. Yeah, hopefully in 0.4 we get the rest of those and a bunch of other stuff, and maybe we can have one of these chats. I think it would be cool to have a tri-family chat next. I think that'd be pretty interesting. See how that goes, yeah, let's do it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right?
you got me for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll schedule that. I don't know. Chat, is that something you guys would want to see? Let me know. And everybody watching this far into the pod as well, let me know in the comments below on YouTube. I really appreciate you watching. Make sure you leave a comment for my brother. He totally won't be reading the comments and looking at all your hyper negative critiques of him, okay? So let's keep it a little chill, guys. I really appreciate it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will have more podcasts and Path of Exile 2 videos coming your way. Let's wave to the audience. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later. Have a great night. All right, that's the
Take
YouTube
care.
cut. There you go. Great job. You did a great job. You were so nervous for
Awesome,
no
YouTube.
reason. What are you doing? You don't need to be nervous. You killed it.